everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, September 17, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. You might want to take a look in your spam folders that my assistant's asking to make sure that the information that she sends you a response to you with may be in the spam folder. So you always want to check that anyway, just get in the habit of doing it. Question is asked a lot is that, since we're these, powerful beings in these bodies, and how come we all don't have what we want? That's pretty simple. It's quite ironic that, more people are not accessing it. Many of us are stuck in jobs we don't like, relationships that we lose energy battling with every day. And we're either having some sort of food, drug, alcohol, or sex addiction that is taking priority over any real, deep, spiritual devotion and exploration. The basic reason for all human suffering here is simple. We focus the mind, right? It keeps focusing on what we don't want, and thus keeps manifesting more of the same. It's a toughie because, we've all been programmed, period. And that's how, that, especially when you don't know you've been programmed. It's difficult. But new thoughts rarely have space to form. Isn't that interesting? We can produce our own thoughts, but rarely do they form. There's no space because we're filled with other people's thoughts. And after 70, 80, 90 years, the human being has wasted all its precious energy on magnetizing on what it doesn't want and doesn't have. Isn't that amazing? This is what we do. It's not negative. It's a profound discovery. So we know that, right? So one might ask, okay, so what's the reason we're not always manifesting everything that we want? It's because the majority of us, I'm not going to say all of us, I'll say the majority, cannot keep our mind focused long enough on feeling that you're receiving that one thing that you truly desire to have. It's pretty much that simple. So what's the solution? Once we retrain the brain to stay focused fiercely, deeply, and resolutely focused, we will become the manifesting masters of our world. When we practice meditation, we will one day attain mastery over our mind and actually reach a state of physical mastery over our physical world. That is humongously motivational. Look where we're at. I don't believe any of us that are aware to a certain extent really care to, keep batting that ball back and forth. Some of you might remember years and years ago, this was before really, video games, and you put a green screen, covering, over your TV, your black and white TV. And you'd have these two little controllers, and a little white dot go back and forth, It was called Pong. You ever feel like that you keep going back and forth, lifetime after lifetime? And most of us do not know that we don't have to do that. We've done it, sure. We've experienced a lot with it, but we don't have to do that throughout eternity. We haven't tasted yet the power that we are. We haven't even come close to it. And it is all about dumping out the crap, dumping it. It's not easy either. You ever done it? Okay, so you say, I'm going to let it go, surrender it. And it just keeps bubbling in. And you keep saying, no, not interested in that. And there's times where the ego mind is just relentless. It just keeps flooding that stuff in. Finally, you just say, okay, pass on through me. You don't do it with anger. You say, pass on through. Just come on it. Just go right through me. Because I'm not going to hang on to any of you. With meaning different thoughts, right? Usually, ego mind, okay, you get a feeling, we all do, at different times, and right in our heart center. And it's ego mind, it's exclusively ego mind insecurity. That's what it is. And the ego mind insecurity is super strong, powerful. And it makes us believe things that are way off base. But see, since we're so immersed and constantly focusing most of the time on what we don't want, but we don't know that we're going to get it until we get it. Now, one might say, well, yeah, but you can manifest things into your life that you wanted, and you get them. Yeah. Well, then what isn't there there's another side to that, like I've used the analogies that you have a bunch of money and then you sit down with yourself and you say, okay, so now the flip side of the coin is what? I got to figure out how I'm going to manage it, protect it, distribute it safely, all those things. When we stop, this is a big one for a lot of people on this planet. When we stop planning, people will experience a whole new freedom. When we stop planning. We have directives. You have a directive that you set yourself with. You say, I'm gonna do that. Period. Or have you ever done this? You're waiting on something, right? And you say to yourself, okay, I'm just going to let it go. And it seeps back in, and a week goes by, and you go, I'm just waiting. But the ego mind starts throwing in all kinds of negative things. What if this, and what if that, and all kinds of just crazy stuff. And it isn't yours. None of it's yours. You figure out that we've got that's where our mind chatter, as I've said, comes from. That's why we've got all these thoughts that are just endless. And now, since we don't have any kind of measuring device to help us do what? We've got to have comparisons. If you don't have a comparison, you're swinging without a net. You're swinging high up without a net. So when you don't have a comparison, what do you do? Well, you've got faith, confidence, and trust in yourself. 100% across the board. So you go for it. You just say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to try. I'm going to do it. Try is a way to escape it in case you don't do it. It's a good out. Well, at least I tried. You ever done that one? At least I tried. So when you say, I'm going to try this, when you say you're going to try it, it gives you an out automatically. Now, when you say, I'm going to do that, someone might say, oh, you are? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Not ego-mindedly, but you just say, I'm going to do it. And you do it. You're not worried about how, what the outcome is going to be. Any of that stuff, insecurities, doubts. You just say to yourself, I'm going to do it. And you do it. What would happen, let's say half of the civilization, right? About 4.25 billion. Roughly, yeah. And they all at once, everybody was awake, everybody was aware. And they knew who and what they were in the body. And they were swiftly approaching mastership over their ego mind and their thoughts. Wow, what a difference would that make? You see where our energy goes? It goes everywhere in most cases that isn't for the greater good. When we focus our energy, where are we usually focusing it? I've had people say to me through the years where they say, I feel guilty when I say I want something. You feel guilty, yeah. They say they felt like they didn't deserve it. Or, you ever given somebody something? Not because because you want something in return. You give it to somebody freely because you want to. And it's like you're coming up against Attila the Hun because they are so adamant on not accepting it. You ever experienced that? It's like, what is this? You go, here, what is that? What's this? You go, it's a gift. Oh, no, I can't take a gift. What's it for? No reason. I just give you a gift. Right? So they go, they're just really adamant on not accepting. It's just, okay, fine. You don't care to expend your energy there. And then there's people that will accept the gift, and then they feel guilty about accepting the gift because then they'll say, well, I didn't get you anything. You see how things have been programmed on this planet? And you go, I wasn't looking for you to give me anything. I was just giving you this because I wanted to. So if we look at it this way, quote from Osho, right now the master is fast asleep, meaning you, and the mind, the servant, is playing the role of master. And the servant is created by the outside world. It follows the outside world and its laws. Once your awareness becomes a flame, it burns up the whole slavery that the mind has created. There is no blissfulness more precious than freedom than being a master of your own destiny, Osho. That's very true. And when it comes down to life-mind mastery within the great mystery, it is all about what? Discovering the source of pure awareness inside. Right? It's that simple, obvious awareness that is always watching, listening, and experiencing everything in our life all the time. It is the light behind the movie screen of our mind. It's responsible for projecting the entire picture onto everything that you feel, sense, and see. It is responsible for shining the light on every single thought and feeling that you have about anything. It's always the source of what your experience is in every moment of your existence. And most of us do not give awareness enough credit. We rarely recognize that it's there and hardly ever take the time to sit down with it and relax into the source of it, your awareness. The reason we take awareness for granted is because it is ever present. Always here now, just like the air we are all breathing. Yet think about it. What if awareness wasn't present anymore? What would happen to your life? What would you be without awareness? Who would exist if there were nobody to be aware of your existence anymore? And these are deep thoughts to contemplate. Yet, when we do take the time to explore them, something magical happens. We start to become more in touch with this divine state of awareness. Whatever we focus on is what we experience more of, and eventually manifest into physical action and form. Whatever we meditate on results in who we are going to become tonight and tomorrow morning, as we become more aware of the infinite spiritual source of awareness inside. We become more connected with what's totally in charge of what we're magnetizing. We can see each thought fly by and see exactly how each one of these thoughts is attracting, creating, and designing how our entire lives unfold and manifest. Now, it is only when we become conscious of this perfect divine play manifesting inside us and all around us that we stop fighting ourselves, each other, and beating our hearts against our inner emotional prison walls. When we stop pushing against life and start appreciating that everything is an aspect of the great sacred mystery, we start resonating at a higher level of consciousness. We begin feeling more expansive when we wake up in the morning. Greet the day with a childlike curiosity, creativity, and wonder. We do this because at the source of pure awareness, it's easy to realize there truly are no actual prisons in this infinite quantum field of intelligent energy. Prisons are only limiting aspects of our highly creative imagination. On a karmic level, every one of us has a unique inner emotional prison, and this is part of our unique soul's destiny. Every human came here to release the lie their soul was fed. They came to re-experience the feelings of being confused, rejected, abandoned, hated, suppressed, depressed, and stuck in order to transcend them all. We needed to step harder on thorn hiding in our shoe. in order to stop thinking or hiking up this great mountain and remove it with love. At some point, every day, we each run into some feeling of being stuck, blocked, or challenged by something or someone. We feel limited, small, powerless, or suppressed from our full expression. Every human mind already has the program installed to throw itself into some emotional dumpster repeatedly. There are many little thorns hiding in our shoes that we are unaware of. Thus, something terrible happens in the outer world. We get dumped by a lover. We end up trashing our self-esteem, our love for life, our feeling of being empowered, and falling into some treacherous feeling of being locked up in an emotional prison we cannot escape from. All of this thorny karma we carry may sound terribly depressing. Yet it's good to remember that this universe is more loving, mysterious, and intelligent than we could ever imagine. There is a very beautiful yet unobvious reason why this divinely intelligent, deeply eternal loving universe has set life up to throw each and every one of us through experiences of emotional pain, agony, and suffering. The reason is so that we stop everything we are doing and become deeply inspired to evolve in a spiritual dimension. The spiritual path is the only way we can remove all our thorns and break out of our thick mental and emotional prisons. Now, the only problem is that the mind tends to get lazy and wrapped up in old habit and would never search for the keys to our spiritual freedom unless we felt deeply trapped, imprisoned, or stuck. The mind loves to create these emotional prison cells in the brain, as each one provides new fuel to blast off into a new experience of creativity, growth, evolution, movement, and eventually reach total liberation. So, we all have these wonderfully perfect, prickly prisons constructed inside of us. Each one is destined to create a deep yearning and desire to be free. You can reject this idea, ignore it, or accept it. Just notice what happens inside your body either way. And this search for freedom is as much our destiny as the prisons we've placed ourselves in. There are no real enemies in this world. Never have been. There are only imaginary shadows. The thorns in our shoes can be removed once we realize that they are also created by our own imagination. We must choose to move beyond the mind. That's where we're heading, those of us who choose to. Yet is truly ignorant and not worshiping the great mystery 24 hours a day. It is this ignorance that is our only real enemy. The mind that is deeply stuck in thought, in ego, and will only strive to create something new when some form of horrific pain, fear, or slavery begins bubbling up inside. The mind is imagining everything that you're experiencing right now. It is believing that your thoughts, beliefs, and all your limitations are real. It is entertaining the feeling that being financially stuck is real, or that your relationships are never going to improve, or you'll always live in the same house forever. Some people say that they're scared to death that they would end up in the house that they're living in forever. It has this idea that whatever challenging life experience you're having right now just may be that way forever. And the sensations of emotional imprisonment sure do feel real, don't they? Yet when we step back from them, we see they are just a conglomeration of negative thoughts. That's all they are. They're a conglomeration of negative thoughts. When we step back from the mind with awareness, we can understand that we are the ones who have thrown ourselves into jail with our imagination. From this awareness, then we can step out of jail just with using our simple yet all-powerful imagination. One who knows the self has nothing more to do, nor has he any more thoughts. From then on, the infinite power will carry out all further actions that may be necessary for him, Raman Rishi. Now, to acquire an out-of-jail pass, we must choose to gift it to ourselves. We must choose to accept that everything and everyone in this life is a part of this deep, wonderful, holographic, infinite mystery. In this acceptance, we stop feeling limited. We see how our imagination is co-creating everything, designing this entire thing we deem as reality. Then, and only then, can we understand what it takes to be free. By knowing what is creating thought, we stop believing in all of its fantasies. We realize that any potential feeling of slavery is a choice from here on out. We understand that we always have the free will and choice in how we wish to interact and engage with any thought that enters the mind, and can keep it like a winning lottery ticket or toss it away like a used banana peel. So an invitation for you right now is to not hold on to any beliefs that show up about yourself, others, and this life. To not hold on to any beliefs that show up about yourself, others, and this life. Choose the mystery over certainty, just because it is more exciting. It's simply more interesting to not know than to know. When you're living within the mystery 24 hours a day, you suddenly find yourself becoming spontaneous, free from hesitation, doubt, barely have any fear. It requires all the courage you have to keep choosing the mystery over the normal way of being human. Yet, you are much more likely to experience your fears as some weird, bubbling state of excitement than something you can run from. You might even see your life as this wild, passionate birthing of random desires to engage and disengage from. Ultimately, it is a mystery how long or short your life is going to last. So why not start embracing it now? So many of us we just, you're out of the body and you're in between, and you're talking with a God or a soul, whatever you want to call it. And just about every time, what's the response? The response is, I can't believe all the things I worry, stressed, and feared about, and I came into that body to enjoy life. Sure, we have those times, but they're not prevalent, and they should be. When we embrace the mystery as a way of living life, the mysterious way keeps us truly alive. We start abiding in a state of wonder and deep curiosity about everything. We stop defining who we are and start realizing that truly we are actually indefinable. We start seeing amazing intelligent energy is here now, directly in front of our eyes. Give love and deep, eternal acceptance to those you encounter. And notice what happens, Wayne Dyer. It's like, the mind's always going, so you got these thoughts that come in about somebody and irritating, and so what do? You turn around, you just go love, 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 love. You keep that vibrational frequency, love, 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 love. All of the things, all of them. Worry. How many of us are worrying about something right now? Fear, worry, stress, anxiety, all ego mind. What you would believe or think, you go, well, been there, done that, deeply grateful for it, but I choose to move into the next chapter, spirituality. Do you believe that spirituality is it? There are many more beyond spirituality. But we're moving in spirituality, which means we become the masters and commanders of our lives. You want some spice in your life? You throw something in there that's going to give you some spice in life. It really is. It's like you're sitting in front of a blank artist canvas, right? It's not about knowing how to paint or anything. Okay? And you've got the brush and you've got all these colors. And you pick the colors that you're going to put on that canvas. Because you're the one that's going to experience them. It's no different than being the master or commander of your life. Does it make any sense that the majority of us walk around blind to who and what we are and what our life is really about? It isn't about stressing, worrying, and fearing. What do you believe is the root of all this? Well, we know that the programming is heavy duty because we've been programmed for so very long. And our perspective is it's bent. It's bent is the best way I can describe it. And it's interesting. You can say to somebody, you can impart or share, hey, if you do this, 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 and this is going to take place for you. How many people really believe that with themselves?
You think it's maybe 1/10 of the population or less?
See, we cannot rely, we have for a very long time, we cannot only rely on the logical, rational mind to serve as our guide and forget what it's like to live from our heart. Can't do it. Well, we do it, right? But look at what it does. Because then we become lost in the trail of perpetual tension left behind in the mind's anxious what-if thinking. So, you can kind of look at, the worrier inside of us has lost its spiritual roots. It's forgotten how to deeply enjoy this life, be free from attachments in this world, and trust that everything is always unfolding perfectly in this divine, all-intelligent universe, which never, ever makes a mistake. I'll join you in a meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. An easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into the body. Focused on the breath rising and falling. Most people think that it's difficult to manifest their dream life. They create the belief that it's challenging and then attract that experience into their lives. Truth is that life is whatever you believe it is. If you believe that manifesting is hard, you're not fully understanding your exquisite magical connection to this universe. You do not have to work really hard to get your desires and needs fully met. Just stop feeling needy and start feeling worthy. Your desires have blinded you from seeing, feeling, and realizing how divinely wonderful and magical you already are. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here Wednesday, September 18, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Global Guided Meditation call, and after 9:15 p.m. Eastern, our Time for Change call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on inside you nor outside you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in